Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and in this video I've got 3 replays for you in the Tier 8 Soviet tank destroyer, the HMH ISU 130, which is indeed a premium tank, I should add. And just before we get set up, I'll tell you what the equipment are on this. So it's camo net, gun rammer and advanced gun lane drive. And on the perks I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, 6th Sense, Steady Aim, Situational Awareness, Camouflage Expertise, Silent Driving, Muffled Shot and Clutch Braking. So the HMH ISU 130 is a pretty decent TD, I think. It's okay. It's yeah, I mean, I got on alright with it. I think there's probably better Tier 8 premium TDs out there. But this one's okay. I mean, there's a unique feature as well with this TD, which I think is probably worth mentioning, and probably what differentiates it between that and other, premium tank destroyers that you get, especially in the Soviet line. So this one actually has 2 different ammo types. So you have standard rounds, which actually have more penetration than the premium, but less alpha. And the premium rounds have less penetration but more alpha. So the standard rounds, you have just 490 hit points per shot, and your premium rounds you have 570. So there's a bit of a stark difference there, which is interesting to say the least. I mean, if you're top tier, it's quite good fun. You can obviously just load up the premium rounds. And your penetration, I think, is around about 212. Obviously drops off over distance because I think it's premium AP that you have on your premium rounds. But it's still top tier. You should be able to penetrate most things with that. Maybe your heavy tanks might get a little bit more difficult, but majority of things, top tier, you're going to be able to penetrate those premium rounds, and you're going to do some considerable amount of damage with those rounds. Where it gets tricky is obviously when you become bottom tier. Then you're in your standard rounds at 232 penetration. Becomes a little bit difficult. Again, especially when you're sort of coming up against heavy tanks. At tier 10, you're really going to struggle with either round, to be fair. So it's always good to have a split. An even split of rounds, I think. You don't want to carry too many of one or the other, because obviously your premium rounds, you want to make the most of the alpha damage when you're top tier. But equally, you want to make sure you've got enough to give you the penetration to be able to go through sort of tier 9s or even tier 8 heavies, or some tier 8 heavies, and obviously your tier 10s as well. So so you can see there, for example, like I wasn't really going to take too many shots at that object 705A, mainly because I can just see its upper plate, and I'm not going to pen that, and wouldn't have penned that really even at tier 10. I don't think, because that angles are just, it was just too well angled where it was just going to sort of deflect all my shots all day long. So there was no point in wasting any time on that. So you can see what I mean by the different ammo types there. So what other things has this tank got going for it? Well, I mean, it's got good concealment, it's got 8 degrees of gun depression, 10-second reload time, which I've obviously sort of managed to reduce with the gun rammer, and also the perks that I've run on it, and food as well. So you can see that I've just got it just under 7 seconds, I think, which is quite decent. Aim time of 2 seconds, which is nice. Again, that will be dropped down the advanced gun lane drive and steady aim and food that I run on this. So it's got good accuracy during rotation as well. So the accuracy is alright for a Russian TD. It's not that bad. It's not derpy like any others. It's, mind you, saying that, the ISU 152, and didn't really struggle with the accuracy on that, even though it's supposed to be derpy on paper. It still seemed pretty accurate. But anyway, on the ISU 130, it's a good alternative if you can't get on with the big 750, 850 alpha guns, that you can sort of run on the on sort of the ISU 152 or the 152K and those sort of tanks. So the not so great things on this tank, I think your view range is pretty average, sluggish mobility in some sense, poor power to weight. So you sort of get into your top speed, and your top speed alone, it's not that great. It can be a bit of a problem. You can see here I'm sort of struggling at 11 kilometers an hour, just driving up this incline. Poor traverse, it's not great really. Again, why I sort of put clutch braking on. And yeah, like I say, we mentioned sort of the penetration values when you struggle sort of bottom tier. Other than that, this tank is not that bad. I've had fun with it, I think, and yeah, it's capable. It is capable. And like I say, it's a good alternative to sort of your big alpha dirt tanks. And also one thing to note as well is its 160% silver bonus. So it's a little bit sort of higher than the average tier 8 tank, which like I say, most run at 150% silver bonus. This has that little bit more, so a good silver maker if you're again out looking for a tier 8 silver maker. This can sort of add a little bit on top. So the first game then is nearly coming to an end, where we're on Siegfried line, and we've only got 3 tanks left. We've come up with 2.3k damage so far and just under 400k at 400 assist. We're going to try and see if we can squeeze a shot in this Type 5, but this is what I'm talking about now. This is where we're going to start to struggle. Type 5 unfortunately puts a shot into us, but we're just trying to squeeze as much damage out as possible. I don't know if we're going to get any more out of this game. We're going to give it a go. The Type 5 gives us his side, and we managed to squeeze a shot in, set him on fire actually, and picking up the kill for our 3rd kill of the game, and bringing our damage up to 2.8k damage there. So an average game to start off with, but being bottom tier, I thought it was sort of worthy of showing into the replay. We only come 2nd there. We do pick up the 1st class for our efforts. Again, just 2.8k damage. Made a good bit of silver as well, which is nice. But we move on to the 2nd replay now, where we are on Himmelsdorf, and not the ideal map for it, but we are quite strong top tier. Not that many 8s in this game, so we should be able to make the most of it. Now, I kind of made a mistake actually by not loading the premium AP straight away. Probably should have just gone for that round straight off the bat, which is usually what I do when I'm sort of top tier. I usually go for sort of premium AP. Maybe I was expecting to bump into some heavy tanks crossing, which might have needed sort of some more penetration. We do smack a shot into that Challenger there with a standard round. Now we can see this Rover 237 just YOLOing out on the train tracks there. Get a shot in, but unfortunately it just tracks him in place. Gonna try and see if we can line up a shot, but I think unfortunately one of the scenarios where we tracked him, but he was on the move, so he's just slid right behind cover, which is lucky for him but not so lucky for us. Means that he's behind cover and is not able to get shot at by our friendly teammates. Gonna look down the free line here, where we see this Black Prince, which I know I can get a shot into. Luckily bounce a shot as well. The armor is a little bit troll on this tank. And when you're top tier, I guess it's one of those where if you just sort of angle right, you will be able to bounce some shots. We bounced 520 there, so that's something else, and the Black Prince that's fired at me, because the Black Prince doesn't do 520 alpha. Well, it didn't last time I checked, and it's definitely not changed. But yeah, so something else has fired at us. We try snapping the shot into that TD, but he gets taken out by the Hellcat 105. We're lit and targeted here, but these are just sort of tier 6s, so again, I'm not overly concerned. Well, one of them is this AMX Chaffee, which is tier 7, but again, I'm not overly concerned about these tanks. Trying to see if I can squeeze a shot potentially in this AMX Chaffee. I'm just looking through the train, see if I can squeeze a shot and we get the slightest of chances to shut that guy down, which we're going to take. Now we see the AMX 12 ton. just come out into the open, so we get rid of that guy as well, taking 2 light tanks in quick succession, which is nice. We managed to get a shot into the Canning Panzer 105, which is camping at the back there. He's now on the move, so we're going to see if we squeeze the shot. He just stopped. I hate when that happens. You line up the shot and you think, oh yeah, he's just going to drive straight into my shot, and he stops dead. Really annoys me when they do that. But needless to say, we're going to chase after the SU. Now, I haven't loaded the premium shells at all in this game, and this is a mistake on my part. I should have been just firing full premium here, because I would have made a lot more damage out of this game. So yeah, that's a bit of an oversight on my part. Yeah, obviously just wasn't paying too much attention to my ammo loadout. I was just trying to get as much, or just focusing on this game, really, just doing the best I can. We set the Tiger P on fire there. He decides to just sit out, and there we go. We've now loaded the premium AP, which gets me just over 600 hit points. So, but you can see, if I just loaded that right off the bat, this game probably could have been 5k or more. So yeah, that's a bit silly, really, on my part. But we've had a good game. You know, the team has just completely rinsed the enemy team here, and there's 1 tank destroyer left. Moving as quickly as possible to try and see if I can potentially get another kill or a bit of damage, but it's not looking very likely. We're going to try and see if we can get around and beat this tank destroyer to it. Swing around, but unfortunately the Hellcat 105 manages to pick up the kill. But we've had a respectable game nonetheless on a city map as well, so you know, not really great for TDs, but you can see we get 4.7k damage, picking up 3 kills, 134 assists, made a good amount of silver by not firing premium AP. I guess that's one consolation. We pick up the high caliber in the first class medal, but like I say, bit annoyed actually. We probably could have got a lot more out of that game if we just fired the premium AP. We still would have made silver because we were penning most of our shots, but yeah, unfortunately we just missed out. But we saved the best video, or best replay should I say, till last, and this final and third game we are on Fjords, and it's actually in counter battle. So this is not too bad, because I was thinking, right, okay, in counter battle, I know they're basically just gonna be fighting either side of this mountain ridge here. 9 times out of 10, I know that there's going to be tanks coming down the 9-0 line. They're going to park up basically on that ridge at the top, and it's just a matter of basically being patient, waiting for these guys to get lit up, and seeing my heavy tank, or friendly heavy tank, is actually getting fired at. But I'm hoping that he can just spot some of these guys up. I think he's getting lit by that light tank, and also those guys are not going to be lit yet, because that heavy tank's not in a position to spot up. But then we see this Leo has come down, but there we go. You can see tanks are starting to get lit up on that ridge now. And we could see that heavy tank, that bear, which we shot. But then I turned my attention to that Rheinmetall Borsig, because that's a dangerous TD. It's got very good camo and it hits very hard. He goes unspotted, so we're just going to go for the bear that's just decided to just sit out in the open and let us free farm. That's fine. I'll take hit points if you don't want them. Now we can see this Tiger 131. Get a nice shot into the side, and you can see we've got the premium AP loaded here. Yeah, we've gone for that right off the bat, which is the right thing to do. But there you can see the shortfalls. The Tiger 131 is angled up there, and unfortunately it bounces. Snap a shot which doesn't go true, so we miss a shot on that Borsig, which is frustrating there. Trying to see if we can get a shot on that T71 DA, but he's got into cover. And now we're just waiting to see if these tanks will push out onto our friendly tank destroyer. Kind of hoping they are, because if they do, then we're here to be able to slap a shot into them. Yeah, but unfortunately that Ferdinand gets taken out by the Sturm Mill. But now the Leo's got brave and has decided that he's going to push out. We've trapped him in place. Can we get the kill shot? Unfortunately, just ducks out Bart. that Minotaur decides to poke out, and we just turn our attention to the Minotaur. Minotaur's now moving, gives us his side, we slap a shot in there, which I'm surprised we actually managed to pen with the premium AP, but that was decent. Unfortunately, tried squeezing a shot on the T71 DA, but just missed the shot there. The Minotaur gets taken out by our friendly artillery. That was the luckiest shot you're ever going to see. Managed to squeeze a shot into that Drogon. Unfortunately, we've got tanks on the cap, and I'm hoping that the base gets reset. It does. I'm going to turn my attention to this T71 here, which I squeeze a shot and we don't even get lit for that, which is nice. And we're up to 3 kills now. Now I'm thinking I need to get over to the base, because I don't know why our heavy tanks are sort of hesitating. I'm trying to encourage them to go and defend the base, because the timer's down to 8 seconds, and it looks like we're going to get capped out here, and it's really unfortunate. Our light tank is rushing in. We've got 2 seconds, and luckily the light tank manages to get a reset, and then there's another reset, and we might be able to get there in time to start getting some more shots. We can see this huntsman. Unfortunately, we just whiffed our shot there. We've gone back to the standard rounds. Now we've got the side of this AMBT, and we squeeze a shot in there, and yeah, now we're putting pressure on the cap now, so we should in theory be able to get the proper reset again. We fumbled a shot on that huntsman there. These bales in the way are making it a little bit difficult to line the shot. Then we squeeze the shot into that medium, who I think has the majority of the cap points, so we've just properly reset the base there. Tried squeezing the shot into the huntsman again. We're earning 440 hit points here, so we need to be careful. Artillery gets another shot into the huntsman. Tried squeezing a shot into the cupola of that huntsman, but didn't quite work. Obviously it's hold down, so it's difficult there. But the base is now being fully reset, and yeah, we pretty much grabbed this game by the scruff of the neck. It's not completely won yet. Yeah, we are 5 tanks ahead. But that could change drastically if the red team play smart. Now you can see here I've decided to go to this TD that is decided to take on our artillery. Reason being, there was no point in moving up. All the tanks were ahead of me. The best chance I had was getting back to try and get some damage on this tank destroyer that is threatening our artillery, and you can see there I slapped our last premium AP shell into the back of that Stern Tiger for 590. We've got the AP loaded, and there we go, we squeeze our 5th kill in. We're up to 6.3k damage, and the last tank that is left is this Stir a Mill, which I think is going to get taken out pretty quickly. But yeah, we've had a phenomenal game there, to be honest. And yeah, we couldn't really have asked for a better game, especially on Fjords as well, because like I say, the mobility, the top speed, and the power to weight on this tank really is horrible. So the fact that we haven't had to travel far for the damage has been a real bonus. If this was just sort of standard battle team destruction, it could have been quite painful, but the fact that we had encounter mode, didn't have to travel far. Unfortunately, our team decided to go for the cap rather than kill all, which is frustrating. You could have got a top gun out of that if we'd actually got to it quick enough, but nevertheless, not too much of an issue, because we pulled out 5 kills, 6.3k damage, 346 assists, picking up the ace tanker there and a high caliber medal. And yeah, that's a real decent game to finish the video off. But there we go, guys, that is it, and that is the HMH ISU 130, which, yeah, like I say, a great alternative to the derp guns, and it's alright, it's a good tank. I think it holds its own, so yeah, let me know what you guys think about it. If you have got it, drop a comment below, and if you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. It always does help, and I'll just keep pushing these videos out if you're enjoying it. So yeah, anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.